Well, greetings and welcome back to the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. It is the start of the 2022 season for the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. I'm so happy to be back with you folks this year and excited to be partnering with PrizePicks for the Fantasy Golf Sommelier this year. It's going to be fantastic. And we get to start at the Waste Management Open, which is just, it's a perfect place to start the Fantasy Golf Sommelier because let's just be honest, a lot of people get wasted at the Waste Management Open. And you know what? The Sommelier is okay with that. And you know what? Right now, I'm going to pour a little bit of wine. Okay. Now, I did start early tonight, started drinking a little early. Got a little too excited. We're drinking tonight, actually, a red blend. Here. Pour that in there. Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. Red blend. Actually, this is called the Dueling Pistols, which I think is kind of a cool name. Kind of a Western type name. Maybe Arizona. Where we're at for the Waste Management Open here at TPC Scottsdale. This is a great wine. It's a blend. It's a blend of Petite Syrah, which we're going to talk a little bit about Petite Syrah here in a little bit, and Cabernet. Really, I love Cabernet. Not quite as familiar with Petite Syrah, but it's basically a 50-50 blend, which you don't typically see all that much. That's why it's called the Dueling Pistols. But it's very good wine. We'll talk more about that later. They do make wine in Arizona, by the way. And Cabernet and Petite Syrah are some of the more popular varietals to come out of Arizona, which is one of the reasons that I chose this wine. But let's get into the plays of the week. Now, you'll notice it's a little bit different than it used to be because we're going to be talking prize picks. All right. And that's what we're going to be focusing on for the Fantasy Golf Sommelier this year. And we're going to start with the FGS Reserve play of the week, and that is going to be the over on greens in regulation for Keegan Bradley. Okay, now here's the thing: you can go to PrizePicks, sign up under our code TJ, and you get all kinds of things and whatever else. And by the way, check the descriptions because we got a little contest we're running called the ROAD to Augusta, where you can actually go to Augusta with me and DB. It's going to be a fantastic time. So check that out. I'm not going to talk all about that because you can listen to our shows and all that kind of stuff and hear all the information there, or get into the Nut Hut and you can check it out there as well. But here's the deal. You can take either an over or an under. You can pair them up together, place your fantasy dollars down, and you can see what happens. If they both hit, you're going to have a good week. And I'm going to tell you right now that Keegan Bradley, the over at 12.5 greens, is a great play this week. Look, here's the thing with Keegan. He was 12th on the tour all of last season in greens in regulation. All right. Now, that's pretty good. He hasn't been quite as good this year. Okay. But he's still right at about 70% greens in regulation per round. Okay. And these are larger greens this week, so they're easier to hit. I expect that over to hit on day one for Keegan Bradley. He's going to hit at least 12.5 greens. He's going to go over there. Okay. All right. Now, by the way, this being the first video this year, maybe hit the thumbs up for me. Leave a comment. Maybe talk about what your favorite red blend is. Maybe you've had the Dueling Pistols before. I don't know. It's a good one. But moving on, let's talk about the Boone's Farm fade of the week. Now, this is someone that I just don't really like to perform well this week because if you've ever had a Boone's Farm, I don't even want to call it wine because I don't even think it really is wine. But either way, it's not very good. So there's not a whole lot you can expect out of it when you're tasting it, okay, or guzzling it, as some may say. And so I'm going to take the under on fairways hit for Jordan Spieth set at 8. Okay, I think that's one that you can pair up with some other plays this week. Last year on tour, He barely averaged over 50% fairways hit over 92 measured rounds. So barely over 50%. His last 24 rounds, Jordan Spieth is 121st in this field out of 132 players in fairways gained, which is a measure of driving accuracy. That's not very good either. So I just don't see her. I mean, 8 fairways doesn't seem like a whole lot when you got 14 out there, but I still don't see him hitting 8 fairways. We know Jordan Spieth can spray it all over the place. I think it's going to be an under kind of day for him. So I will take the under on Jordan Spieth for 8 fairways hit. And you know what? Here's another thing. These fairways are actually kind of narrow. They're kind of tough to hit. There's a little bit of elevation out here. They may be spraying the ball out here because of the elevation. It's going further. It's going through the fairway. Who knows? Okay. All kinds of different factors. I think the under hits for Jordan Spieth on 8 fairways. Okay. Woo. All right. Moving along. Let me get a little sip here of the vino. Let me tell you, we're going to talk about the Petite Sirah here. This thing is good. It is tasty when it hits the lips. So good. That was a little bit too big of a sip. You really shouldn't do that when you're drinking wine. Take little sips, okay? Take your time. Enjoy the wine, especially a good bottle like this. Don't guzzle it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Okay. All right. So the Pop the Court play of the week, yes, is going to be Scotty Scheffler. I got a few contests that I like him in PrizePicks, okay? I like the over in greens and regulation, which is set at 13. I think that's a fantastic play. These are relatively easy greens to hit. They're pretty large. He is great on strokes gained approach and greens and regulation. I think it's kind of an easy play to play him on the over there. Now we'll see what happens. Sometimes these things don't quite go how we want them to go. Like a good wine that you just popped open. Sometimes it may not taste the way you think it does, but I think it's going to taste really well this week for Scotty Scheffler. Also like the over on 5 birdies in his first round, okay? Here's the thing about him, okay? He averages close to 5 birdies a round last year, okay? All of last year. He was 7th in Start over on that. All right. I also like the over on birdies for his first round set at 5 for Scotty Scheffler. All right. Here's the thing with Scotty. He averaged close to 5 birdies a round all of last year. He was 7th in birdie or better percentage on tour last year. We're going to have perfect conditions. I think he could easily get to 5 birdies in his first round. So I'm going to go the over there on 5 birdies for Scotty Scheffler. Also the over on greens and regulation set at 13. So Scotty Scheffler is the Pop the Cork play of the week. I love him. Anything you do, put Scotty Scheffler in there, and I think you'll be happy this week. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about Petite Sirah, which is part of the blend in this wine with Cabernet. And we've talked about Cabernet before on the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. But Petite Sirah is really known for having a full body and balanced taste, but high in tannins and acidity. It's got a real short finish, but it's very robust. It's the flavors really pop in this wine. You got kind of some blueberries, some plum, maybe a little dark chocolate in there, some blackberry, a lot of different flavors, a little vanilla, some mocha. So it's a good wine with like steaks, fatty foods, maybe like a barbecue or something like that. I think Petite Sirah fits in there, especially when you pair it up here like it is with the Cabernet blend. I think it's just a fantastic, like if you're going out for a good steak dinner, get this wine, okay? Get it. Taste it. You'll love it, all right? Don't worry about how it sounds. Petite. It's all petite. It's not. It's bold. It's big. It's not petite. Tastes really good. Again, I love this one. Woo. Man, let me tell you about this. Another thing, mostly grown in California. I did mention they do grow some Petite Sirah in Arizona. Obviously in France, Australia. They grow some really good Petite Sirah in Australia. So that's something to note as well. We got a lot of Aussie fans out there, and everyone knows I love the Aussies. So, yeah, you can get some Petite Sirah there. All right. Well, that's all I got this week for the Fantasy Golf Sommelier presented by Prize Picks. I'm excited to do this all year long with all of you. Again, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, make a comment here. It's the first one of the year, might be a little bit rusty. So maybe you could tell me in the comments also on some things you want to hear about this year in 2022 in the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. But I hope you have a great week. I hope your prize picks plays go fantastic. All right, that's all I got. And I will be back next week to talk more prize picks plays and wine and whatever else I feel like talking about.